Good morning, and thank you for joining us on After GMS. It is Monday, July 18th. The weekend flies by.
Doesn't it go by fast?
Hope you guys had a great one, though. I'm Tracy McCain here with Ed Matthews and Sydney Moore.
Ed, with it being Monday today, the 90s. We just can't get away from the 90s. We got to prepare for it because it might be coming tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe even some areas today, but
Okay.
I think the 7-day is loaded with 90-degree heat here in the Piedmont, so be prepared for that. We have a beautiful morning in the Piedmont, a few scattered clouds over Burlington, and the temperatures are starting to move up with the sunshine. We're up to 73 at the Burlington Airport right now. With the approach of a cold front, there will be some scattered storms mid to especially late afternoon and overnight. This is one of those patterns where the front will be in our backyard in the overnight period. So although storms will be more numerous during the evening, we could even see some of those overnight. Now the cold front, this is where it's located by midday, but it'll approach our area tonight and still be near the Virginia-North Carolina border overnight and early tomorrow morning. We still could see a leftover isolated storm coming up on Tuesday, but I think for the most part a much drier weather pattern for Tuesday and on into Wednesday. 88 to near 90 today, will be around 90 Tuesday. We're looking at low 90s coming up by Wednesday, Thursday, and by Friday and the weekend, we could see temperatures into the low 90s. I'm going to do something I don't like to do on TV, and that's clear my throat. I'll never make it through this production here on Facebook unless I clear my throat. My deepest apologies. Now I'm ready to talk.
There you go. Do what you got to do, Ed.
Yeah.
I mean, I always have a frog jumping in my throat all the time.
Coffee cream gets hung in my throat and it just won't go up and it won't go down.
It just gets stuck right in
So
the
I
middle.
miall just have to quit drinking coffee.
You got to stay up somehow, right?
Yeah, there you go. But I'm doing fine.
25
I'm
jumping
surviving.
jacks.
There
Then.
you go.
All right, so our first story this morning will sure to make you smile. 8-year-old Charlotte, who recently lost her mother to brain cancer, had only one person RSVP to her birthday party recently. So her sister did what sisters do. Her sister named Chloe got on social media, shared the news about that, and hundreds of strangers decided to come together and help her little sister celebrate. So let's see what happened here. Charlotte's party ended up having a horse, pool, water slide, a wall of balloons, and a line of cars down the block. People showed up just to drop off presents to the little one. Charlotte said the party was even more beautiful than she could have imagined. That is such a blessing.
Oh my goodness, you said it right. You do what's just like a sister would do. No surprise to that. So beautiful.
And you know, this is a great thing when you know, something tragic like that happens, where you lose a family member. In my situation, I've lost a dear beloved pet in recent weeks, and it is just such an incredible blessing to have people to come together and support you and to help put a smile on your face. And this is a case in point with this story right here, where the sister got all of this organized, and I'm sure that that little girl was so happy. And at least for a little while, she was able to forget the tragedy, and I think time will heal at least partially. She's always going to miss Mom, but certainly people doing great things is what our community and what our world is all about. That's what God wants us to do. When people are down, He wants us to come together and brighten their days.
That's what helps you keep going.
Yeah.
It's exactly what helps.
I think more people want kindness in the world. And so when they see something like this on social media, they gravitate towards it, because it's not like the shooting that you hear, or the bank robbery that you hear, or the bad community headline that you hear. It's the good news that people are craving, and once they get it, they're like, I'm called to act. I want to help. And that's the great thing about not only this community, but communities across the state and the nation. You know, people want to do the best and they want kindness in the world, and they have a little part of that when they respond to these situations. Like
it's
this.
such a warm, good feeling too. It really, really is when somebody lends a hand or an ear or does something to, again, put that smile on your face.
Stories that are hard to forget.
Yeah, absolutely. So we will have a conversation that involves all of you in just a few minutes about National Sour Candy Day.
Wow.
You guys have had those fireballs before.
I have, but it's not my favorite.
We will talk about it in just a moment. But right now, let's get to some of those morning headlines. And not really the ones we want to talk about, but unfortunately are important in our community. Winston-Salem police are looking for the person who they say shot a man on East 23rd Street near Jackson Avenue. Police say someone drove up, shot the man around 8 last night. Officers say they're looking for a gold compact sedan. If you have any information, call Crime Stoppers. Alamance County Sheriff's deputies arrested a man accused of stalking and violating a court order. The Sheriff's Office charged John Iberg with felony stalking and placed him under a $105,000 bond. Investigators say the suspect trespassed Friday, violating a previous court order.
And Governor Cooper signed a state disaster declaration for Wentworth and Rockingham County after a tornado touched down in May. The National Weather Service says the EF1 tornado left a damaged track almost 8 miles long. The declaration will provide $131,000 in debris removal cost. And some good news about gas prices. The average across the state and nation is down again. The average price for regular has dropped 33 days straight. The average cost in Guilford County was above $4.30 a gallon. Now some stations have gas under $4.
About 25 million children worldwide have missed their routine immunizations, and that's according to a new World Health Organization report.
It includes vaccines for more than just COVID, one like pertussis and measles. WFMY News 2's Itanese McMiller talks with a doctor about why.
Well, this trend of parents skipping out on routine vaccinations for their children started in 2019 and continues today. A pediatrician I spoke with here at Cone Health Center for Children says there is no definite reason why, but he believes it's largely due to the pandemic and people being skeptical of vaccinations across the board.
And people for a time were really avoiding going anywhere, no less their healthcare provider. And although there are rumors of association with terrible things like autism, those things have never, ever been shown to be associated with vaccines.
According to North Carolina law, children are required to get vaccinated against these listed diseases like hepatitis and measles within 30 days of the first day of school. That deadline is September 28th for most triad school districts. Pediatricians say how quickly a child can get caught up on their shots depends on how behind they are.
It depends what they've missed and what the period of time was. Some you can get them all at the same time, others by the nature, depending on how far behind you are, they have to be spread out. So it totally depends upon the child.
If a child is not up to date on their vaccines by the deadline, they cannot attend school until the required documents are provided. So go ahead and mark those calendars. Now, this worldwide study that revealed that 25 million children missed out on their routine vaccinations also showed that low vaccination rates has already resulted in preventable outbreaks of diseases like measles and polio.
Well, there seems to be a day for everything, and today is no different. It's National Sour Candy Day. The sour candy we know today started in the 1950s. That's the face you make as soon as you bite into them. According to NPR, a flamed-colored, mouth-filling jawbreaker, the fireball is initially sweet, but inner layers are filled with the chemicals that give cinnamon and hot peppers their bite. Historians do say older candy, especially from the Victorian era, all had a little sour taste to it because candy makers would add vinegar to get the sugars to crystallize. Do you guys like sour candy?
I do if it has some sweetness to it, but I can only take it in, small amounts. So if I'm gonna have like Sour Patch Kids, I'll have like 1 or 2 or 3. I'm not gonna have the whole bag. Or Lemonhead, somebody mentioned here on our feed, those are really good too, but I'm only gonna have like a few of them. I'm not gonna have the whole package. I prefer like Swedish fish. I love sweet candies. What?
With,
You don't like Swedish fish either?
I don't
Hard to
seek,
please it.
I know.
I don't seek out candy, but you mentioned the lemon. What did you call
Lemon
them?
heads? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the
something
lemon
that
heads.
Belinda Milton mentioned them.
Okay, that may be the same thing I'm talking about. Lemon drops. It's a very old candy, and it's a candy I vividly remember growing up. Sour, but not like really sour. Actually, I think they're
More
really
kinda
pretty
sweet,
good.
yeah.
But some sweetness there, but still a little bit on the sour side. So yeah, they're really good though. I'm assuming they still make them, but those lemon drops are an old candy.
Do they come in the little boxes? Is that the lemon drops?
I've just seen them
like
in
little-
bags, but
Okay.
I haven't seen them for years. I'm gonna search those out and see if I can find some.
You might find them.
Yeah.
It's interesting how they've bartenders, or maybe it wasn't them, but whoever created names for drinks took a lot of them from candies.
Yeah.
Like Fireball,
Yeah.
Lemon Drop.
Lemon Drop.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, there's a trend here. I don't know why. I think it's interesting.
I'm not a sweets person. I don't really eat like sweets and candies and cakes and things of that nature, but I don't like sour. But if I had to choose, I think I like the kisses, the kisses and the like the aluminum type thing,
the
a little
Hershey's
small.
Kisses.
Yeah,
Oh,
those
yeah.
are
Yeah. They're
really
great.
good.
Yeah.
If I end up eating any type of sweets, but those are really good to me.
Okay, well, let's see. I did ask this to see if anybody had any of their favorite sweets or sour treats. Diane Hudson said sweet tarts. Oh, and you know what? Jill Lynette Stuffin said that as well. Sutphin, excuse me, sweet tarts. Faye said none. Callie said, I used to soak Airheads in water to get the sour coating off, so she liked the sweetness underneath. Let's see, Belinda Milton said, yep, she's gonna have Sour Patch Kids, she's only gonna have a few of them too. And LeVar said, Sour Patch, probably the best, but loves the Fireball also. I could never take the Fireball.
I've never had it.
Oh, well, I mean,
Don't
you wouldn't
you?
like it. If your definition of like your favorite is Hershey's Kiss,
Hershey's Kiss.
stay away.
They're really hot.
Fireball
Yeah,
candies,
the Fireball, yeah, they're really
yeah,
hot. Yeah.
absolutely. One other person, Bobby said Sour Patch Kids are good, and Rhonda said she is not a sour candy fan.
I see sweet tarts as well too, Jill and
I mentioned that.
Diane. I'm sorry, yeah. The sweet tarts are always those ones that are in the fun little party bags, the sweet tarts.
Kathy said Sour Jolly Ranchers are her favorite.
Oh, a sour, I didn't know they had sour Jolly Ranchers.
I think like the candy apple would be considered kind of sour, but there's
Yeah.
a strawberry one, which is kind of sweet.
I like
think they
Skittles,
have,
too.
lemon. Yeah,
Skittles too.
I think those are all sweet. Yeah. All right, so that's our debate for today.
And maybe folks can get out today and go maybe walk downtown to find their favorite candy.
Yeah, do it early
Good.
because the increasing afternoon and late afternoon and overnight storm chance. We got a cold front on the way, and that'll be a little extra trigger along with the heating of the afternoon. Couldn't rule out maybe a strong storm, but thankfully we're not in the severe weather outlook right now. Maybe upgraded to a marginal risk later, but I don't even expect that. Be on the lookout for some storms, slow movers with some heavy downpours late afternoon and through the overnight period. And then tomorrow, only an isolated afternoon storm, mainly dry on Wednesday and low 90s. And this is what we're really going to notice is it's going to get hotter as we head through the week. Low 90s for Thursday and Friday. And by the weekend, we may be looking at some mid-90s here in the Piedmont.
90 degrees. Bring out the shades and the sunscreen.
Yeah.
The personal fans.
The personal fans.
Yes. Well, thanks so much for joining us here on After GMS. We have more great conversations and the day's top stories tomorrow on our Facebook Live show right at 7:45.
Take care.